This is Newcap News with Brian Lentz.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. 3 people are facing drug charges after 2 search warrants were carried out last week in Lloydminster. The first one was in the 3200 block of 57th Avenue and the second was in the 3600 block of 41B Avenue. Police found half a pound of cocaine, 80 fentanyl pills, 2 batons, a taser, brass knuckles, and more than $8,000 in cash. 2 people were arrested, charged, and released from custody. 39-year-old Sherry Sidoric from Lloydminster is facing a number of drug charges, including trafficking and possession of a prohibited weapon. She was remanded in custody and appears in court next month. Well, following Easter weekend, Mayor Gerald Aalbers will have an extended holiday, sort of. Aalbers is journeying up to Nunavut with JC Inspections on Sunday evening in order to inspect tanks. This was a regular occurrence for Aalbers as an API above-ground tank inspector prior to becoming mayor, and it's something he hopes to return to one day.
There's going to be a future, I hope, after being mayor, and this might be where my career takes me back to, so I want to make sure I'm staying relevant and current.
While up north, Aalbers also hopes to learn about northern municipalities.
There might be some opportunities on the side, I guess, to chat with people and just discuss what they see and what they experience in a northern remote community. And certainly if the opportunity gets the chance, I'll hopefully bump into a mayor or 2 on my way.
Mayor Aalbers will return after 10 days if weather conditions are favorable. And City Council approved of 2 major contracts. The first, an approval of Tetra Tech Canada's proposal for engineering, design and construction management services for completing the East Channel Rehabilitation Project. This agreement will cost nearly $85,000. Council was eager to move forward on the project once an appropriate proposal was on the table to deal with the channel's erosion.
Now that it's not holding out, what are the impacts of not fixing it as soon as possible and getting on with it? So yes, get on with it, fix it, and let's build the rest of the project, because it is a big project.
Council also approved an extension with Solid Earth Geotechnical for materials testing services on capital projects. Some questioned why the project wasn't put to tender, but it ultimately went forward based on previous work.
We do have a contractor that has given us a rate. An individual has also given us quality work through this process.
The contract is worth more than $800,000. The APEGA Science Olympics took place at École St. Thomas School today, where students put their engineering skills to the test. Ryan Craig has more.
The school was flooded with bright young minds on Wednesday as engineering skills were put to the test.
We host here in Lloyd around the community. It's in support of APEGA's Engineering and Science Week. So it's actually been really well supported here by the community.
When the students got here today, they were super excited to see what the challenges were. They raced over to their tables right away to start looking at what they had, all their different supplies, trying to read over, asking millions of questions before we even got going.
The challenge is different every year. In the past, it has varied from spaghetti bridges to paper chairs. This year, it's all about water runoff.
So we tried to build like a kind of a culvert thing and have the mesh act so that it'll get some of the sand out. Not sure how well it'll work, but then like have the sugar cubes on toothpicks so that in case any water does get through, hopefully it doesn't immediately go and ruin it. So it kind of is like a plan B.
Even if their paper chair does break or some sand does fall, the hope for these kids is that the hands-on learning helps them experience new possibilities.
Visiting farms, visiting industries, having work weeks. So it's not just in the classroom reading textbooks. We're starting to find out that education should change to evolve to where we are as people. So education is starting to realize, hey, we need to shake this up a little bit.
Well, yeah, because it's not being like in a classroom, being like, it's so much different than just doing worksheets and being like, oh, powerhouse of the cell.
Even though these kinds of projects may be a small sample size of engineering, teaching the younger generation these kinds of tools do translate to the real world.
Engineering is kind of a mix of this sort of, schooling, science side of it, but it's also a mix of your experience and creativity. And so, once you kind of come out of school, you get a chance to work on stuff like this. This is a much smaller scale of a real world problem. Yeah.
Ryan Craig, Newcap News.
Well, students at Bishop Lloyd have a new club to take part in this year. As Michaela Henschel reports in this week's Beyond the Classroom, the Improv Club not only provides a creative outlet for students, it's teaching them everyday skills.
After being involved with the Improv Club at the Lloydminster Comprehensive last year, grade 9 teacher Kaylin Britton wanted to bring the club to Bishop Lloyd.
It opened me up to this amazing world of drama and improv and quick thinking and confidence. And so I thought it'd be really great to bring something like that to a middle school and start to make that transition a little bit easier from them moving from here to there and really focusing on skills.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Improv! My chicken nuggets! Oh no! They fell!
The club started off with about 30 students meeting once a week, which quickly grew into multiple weekly practices.
It's all because they want to be here. And so I just tell them, as much as you want to be here, I'll come and help you guys and work on those skills.
The introduction of the Improv Club has provided another avenue for students to get involved in a school initiative outside of athletics.
So a lot of students that come into this this club, they don't necessarily get involved in a lot of other clubs in the school, and so they come into this not really knowing what to expect and maybe a little closed off, and they create brand new friendships and they create brand new skills and confidence here.
I wanted to get involved in improv because my sister was in it, and she told me that it was amazing and that you could make a lot of friends in there, and it would totally help me open up because I used to be like super shy.
Like Willow, the Improv Club has helped many members break out of their shell and give them tools to excel in their everyday lives.
Improving, it's quick on the mind. Like, you have to think really fast for your scenes. So when I'm making decisions or if I'm in a tough situation, I can actually use that to actually help myself think really fast.
I've been able to talk to people a lot better. My enunciating has just gotten a lot better.
I teach all of these students in class, and their ability to answer questions about our subject matter has just grown exponentially, and they're so much more confident.
This is Newcap Sports.
Well, this week we've brought you stories about the 2018 rugby seasons for both the Lloyd Comp Barons and Lloydminster Reapers Rugby Club. Lance Phillips explains for most of those players, they've been guided by one individual.
Ready, press!
I want to go far in rugby. Yeah, just as much as how far I want to go in basketball. But rugby, I love rugby. I love playing rugby.
For nearly 2 decades, those are the words many of E.S. Laird's students have spoken. Many athletes who have graced the pitch at E.S. Laird have moved on to bright collegiate and national level rugby careers. And it all started from the time and effort given by Morgan Mann.
We have a young lady that came through E.S. Laird, Bailey Dembicki, who's out playing university rugby out in Acadia University, and she was introduced to the sport here, or as adults and working with families to be still enjoying this sport, playing with the Reapers. That's awesome.
For 19 years, Mann has devoted his time and energy into helping Lloydminster youth begin their rugby journey. And if a first impression is as important as many believe it to be, it's one reason the sport flourishes in the Lloydminster area.
Well, Mr. Mann's motivating. He always, he seems to know what is best. He always knows what to say. He really knows how to cheer us up, get us encouraged to do stuff.
He pushes you in a good way. He pushes you in a good way. He always does those really good pep talks that when you feel like you're going down, he always pushes you back up. And he never fails to boost our confidence up.
I think that's why we all either teach or coach, is that we're hoping that that's how we're thought of, and that I don't think anybody gets into teaching or coaching to have somebody have a bad experience or not think that way, so it's good to hear.
Mann's instruction on the pitch is fostering a love of the sport, but many other lessons are being learned along the way.
I think the sport of rugby is unique. There is no sport here that I've seen that just really connects kids and has them working together and treating each other well, and it's great for that.
it helps me to give me a reason to like work harder, try and train better, get more powerful.
I've had staff say after the season that they've seen a particular student through a whole different lens through the rugby season, that their relationship and connection to that student then back in the classroom was completely different. And now all of a sudden, because of that connection and relationship, the academics flourish.
And that's how you develop the next generation of quality people. Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports.
That's your first look at sports. Gerald Aalbers is in with your weather details next.
This is Newcap Weather with Gerald Aalbers.
Welcome back, everyone. So we saw already for the day, the colder air sticking around, and that's what's going to take us on into the weekend. It's certainly some snow out there. It's already setting up special weather statements for parts of central Alberta, so we want to keep tabs on that as we head on, and you've got travel plans at the start of the Easter weekend. Let's look at the next 24 hours, because still the dominant feature will be the Arctic high, bringing colder air from the north into our region there as we get on into it. Trace amounts of flurry activity crossing the area, and we're watching the advance of this system targeting southwestern Alberta and southern Alberta there. So if your travel plans are taking you in that direction in the Red Deer area, maybe into Camrose at the moment, Camrose County, I should say, where some of those special weather statements are calling for, snow at the start of the weekend there. But looks like the bulk of it is certainly the colder air. Just how cold? Well, the mid-minus teens, and put about 10 degrees on that will take us probably to a minus 25, and if the wind picks up there, maybe closer to minus 28 might be possible there, but certainly with the wind chill in the minus 20s. Minus 8 to Edmonton, minus 11 to Lac La Biche tomorrow, minus 11 around Provost, the Macklin areas as well. For towns off to the northeast, minus 14 at Isle Cross, minus 13 for Meadow Lake areas, minus 14 at Maidstone and North Battleford. Let's head across the country, stop off in Vancouver, a mix of sun and cloud for their plus 9 in this hour. 2 mainly clear skies at Whitehorse, minus 2 in Edmonton. Now minus 22, a mix of sun and cloud out to Yellowknife. Regina at minus 6, they had some snow showers early on. Crossing to Winnipeg, now they're at minus 7, mainly clear skies there. Some cloud cover rolling into Toronto for their 4. 2 in Quebec and Halifax, overcast skies there, and probably some mist or light fog in Halifax, and looking at plus 3 in St. John's and minus 13 out to Iqaluit. So back on the prairies now for the Battlefords, cloud cover rolling in for their minus 4 at the moment, and you can see minus 18 to the early hours of tomorrow morning, and then minus 14 at best. Some clearer areas becoming available as you get on during the course of the day there. And look at the wind changing largely out of the northwest as that colder air is settling in for the start of the Easter break. Minus 3 in Cold Lake and some parts of the Lakeland region, variably overcast skies. Minus 21 is possible as you head towards the early hours of tomorrow morning, and then minus 12 during the course of the day. Mainly sunny, yes, but definitely with the wind anywhere from 10 to 15 kilometers per hour to round it off there. You'll certainly get some wind chill, making it feel closer to minus 20. For ourselves, we're at minus 4 at the moment. Minus 18 is possible overnight. This morning we were down at minus 15. That felt closer to minus 20 even towards the start of the morning commute there, and minus 14 at best during the course of the day. Cloud cover clearing as we go forward into it, and the winds north rounding it off again anywhere from 10 to 20 kilometers per hour, and this is right across our region. Lloydminster, Vermilion, Wainwright, Provost areas that we're dealing with this going into the start of the holiday break there. So minus 14 Thursday, minus 13 Friday, and there's the possibility at about a 20% chance again tomorrow. We'll pick up some light flurry activity to go on into the start of the weekend. Minus 10 on Saturday, minus 7 on Sunday. So lots of blue skies and sunshine available, but just on the cold side. Minus 5 Monday, minus 6 on Tuesday, minus 4 next Wednesday, and running a 30% chance, especially in the afternoon. May pick up some more light snowfall. Brian, it's back to you for Agriculture News.